From the Blues Hotel Collective, welcome to Blues Moments in Time, where every groove holds a memory and every moment echoes the truth of what came before. Today, we rewind the reel, trace the footsteps, and revisit the chapters that shaped the blues. Here is our host, Kelvin Huggins.
Welcome to Blues Moments in Time. Today is October 28, and on this day, the blues timeline echoes with both sorrow and celebration. A day when legends were born and others took their final bow. Let's journey through the years. It was on this day in 1887 that a future piano barrelhouse king entered the world. Cripple Clarence Lofton was born, a name that would later become synonymous with Boogie Woogie blues. Decades later, on October 28, 1932, Mississippi gave birth to guitarist L.V. Banks, who would electrify Chicago's blues scene. And on October 28, 1936, saw the birth of Ted Hawkins in Biloxi, a man whose music wove blues, soul and folk into something truly unique. In 1941, guitarist and songwriter Cash McCall came into the world, and in 1947, keyboardist George Glover was born in England. Glover would later tickle the ivories for the blues rock band Climax Blues Band. These birthdays remind us that the blues is a living tradition passed down through generations. Welcome to Blues Moments in Time, and today is October 28. On this day, the blues timeline echoes with both sorrow and celebration, a day when legends were born and others took their final bow. Let's journey through the years. It was on October 28, 1887, that a future piano barrelhouse king entered the world. Cripple Clarence Lofton was born, a name that would later become synonymous with Boogie Woogie blues. Decades later, on October 28, 1932, Mississippi gave birth to guitarist L.V. Banks, who would electrify Chicago's blues scene. And on this day in 1936, saw the birth of Ted Hawkins in Biloxi, a man whose music wove blues, soul and folk into something truly unique. In 1941, guitarist and songwriter Cash McCall came into the world. And in 1947, keyboardist George Glover was born in England. Glover would later tickle the ivories for the blues rock band Climax Blues Band. These birthdays remind us that the blues is a living tradition, passed down through generations. But October 28 also carries a tinge of blues farewells. In 1967, the blues world lost one half of a beloved comedy blues duo, Jodie Butterbeans Edwards of Butterbeans and Susie, died suddenly while performing on stage. It was a shocking end to an extraordinary career that had brought laughter and song to audiences. Fast forward to 1991, and on this day, the smooth voice of singer Billy Wright, known as the Prince of the Blues, passed away at 59, leaving behind a rich legacy of soul blues. And in 2013, one-man band extraordinaire Adelphus Bell took his final bow after a life of wowing crowds with his one-man blues shows. Most recently on October 28th, in 2022, the music world mourned Jerry Lee Lewis, the wild killer whose rock and roll was steeped in the blues. Though he broke into a fame with rock, Jerry Lee's piano pounding and growling vocals had their roots in the Delta and Boogie Woogie, a reminder that the blues has always been the heartbeat of rock and roll. Beyond the blues scene, October 28 has seen other moments that echo with cultural significance. In 1834, in Western Australia, a dark chapter in Indigenous history unfolded with the Battle of Pinjarra, a reminder of struggles for land and identity that find an echo in the resilient voices of the blues. Years later, on this date in 1855, a man named Francis Gillen was born. He would also go on to document the stories of Australia's First Nations peoples, like how blues historians preserve the stories of African American blues pioneers. And in 1969, artists Christo and Jean Claude wrapped a stretch of Australian coastline in fabric as a bold art statement, a creative act not unlike the way blues musicians take pain and turn it into beauty. Even in 2008, Australians gathered in Fremantle to honour Bon Scott of AC/DC with the Salute, a rock icon whose band's sound was built on blues riffs and swagger. These events, though, far from the Mississippi Delta, speak to the same human themes of expression, struggle, and heritage that the blues so powerfully embodies. So whether we're remembering a blues legend's birth or mourning a loss, October 28 invites us to reflect on the journey of the blues, how it's travelled across time and borders, touching lives and cultures along the way. It's a day that connects the past to the present, showing that the blues is not just music of the past, but a living, evolving story. Join me tomorrow as the Blues Hotel Collective presents Blues Moments in Time. Until then, I'm Kelvin Huggins. Keep the blues alive.